Guys, there are 5 big updates by the Canadian government for international students that want to come to Canada. Today, I'll be telling you if these updates are good or bad. I know a lot of you have seen videos pertaining the new updates for international students by the Canadian government. But you're wondering, and everyone is panicking right now. Everyone who has not put in the application for a study permit are panicking, in turmoil. I'm going to tell you if these updates are good or bad. I'm going to tell you how these updates will affect you in the coming year. I'm going to tell you, the things you need to know. So watch this video to the very end. Now, on December 7th, 2023, the Canadian government announced 5 major updates. Now, the first one is that the cost of living, that is expected of an international student who wants to come to Canada or is applying for a study permit to come to Canada, used to be $10,000, right? But now the government has further increased it, in fact, doubled it by 2, and now it is about $20,630. For you to be able to apply for a study permit and have it approved, you have to have a minimum balance of at least $20,630, inclusive of your running around and your first year of tuition as proof of funds in your bank account before you can be granted a study permit visa. Some people have the opinion that some of the updates that were announced by the Canadian government on the 7th of December 2023 are bad. But I am of a different opinion. I feel like most of them are actually for the good of the international students and also for the economy of Canada. Like I said, the cost of living proof of fund that you need to have has been increased from 10,000 Canadian dollars to up 20,630 Canadian dollars. Now, this is not the only money you need to show as proof of funds. You need to show this as well as, monies to take you, all around Canada when you come in, and as well as your first year tuition fees. All of these must be in your bank account, seated in your bank account while you are applying for your study permit. Now, I always tell people that even though the government has said $20,630 is the allowable proof of funds, it's always good or wise to make your, give a room for allowance. So instead of having $20,630, just like they have said, I would advise that you have at least $23,000 or $25,000 as proof of funds, so that the government knows that you have enough, even more than enough to help you stay in Canada when you come in. Now, I also said that this has created a lot of panic, amongst people who want to come in as international students. But I'll tell you for free that this is also for your own good, because in the recent times, things have really changed in Canada. The cost of living here has really changed. Housing expenses, bills, and all of those things have gone on the rise. So that amount that was, initially allowed would never keep you afloat when you come into Canada as a student. A lot of people have come in here with that expectation and have been found, in difficult situations, stranded because they do not have enough money to foot their bills when they get here in Canada. I've seen students come here and have to pay so much as rent, utilities, and this can be very, very difficult for them. Some of them have had to withdraw from school, because they can no longer cope, and they've been struggling to switch their visas from a study permit to maybe a work visa or a visitor's visa so that they can remain eligible to stay in Canada. So many of them have had to move their admission forward because what they expected is not what they are saying. So all of these policies are actually for the betterment of the international students. Now, the second update that was made by the Canadian government was that international students can now work for at least 40 hours, instead of 20 hours. Now, this has always been this has been a policy, that has been going on, but it was supposed to end this December. But the government has further extended this to allow international students work full-time while they are schooling. So it means that you can work full-time, 40 hours per week, while you're a student in Canada up until the 30th of April 2024. Now, while I would say that this is a good development, or this is a good one, I would also say that it has its negative side. This fact that a student who has research, assignments to submit and all of those things might not be able to give 100% attention to their studies if they have to work full-time. Like, guys, this place, in this country, in Canada, it's not easy schooling abroad. The school, I don't know how the school is back home where you are right now, but in Canada, you have to do a lot of research, assignments, back-to-back assignments and all of that. And then if you have to work 40 hours I can imagine what attention you'll be giving to your studies. You know that the main reason why you are here as an international student is to study. Now, working is just to help you foot some of your bills. It's not to help you foot all of your bills. And that's why it's always good for international students to plan before they come. Have a lot saved before you attempt to come to school here in Canada. Guys, if you watch this video to this point and you're getting value, guys, please click on the like button and support my channel. That's one way to, show YouTube or tell YouTube to push this video to much more people who might need this information. Thank you so much, guys, for always being there. I love you all. What this means is that as an international student, you can work while you're in campus, right? I know that a lot of schools allow their students to work on campus. You can work as admin, okay, in companies as an admin assistant or an admin executive. You can also work as customer service. You can work in all the departmental shops like Walmart. It helps you to stay flexible. You can do health worker. You can do a health worker job. Now, all of these jobs are jobs that you can, seek for when you come into Canada as an international student. Now, one thing I want you to know is that it's going to be competitive, right? Because a lot of people are going to be gunning for these jobs. So you want to make yourself different. You want to make yourself stand out when you are searching for this job. One of the ways you can do this is your appearance, because you're going to be going for interviews and you want these people to look at you and remember you after you have left. Your appearance does a great deal on how far you can come on an interview. The second thing you want to do is your communication skills. You need to know how to speak. Remember that in Canada, your accents might not be what they understand. So you want to speak coherently so that they understand what you're saying, okay? The third skill you want to improve is your sales skills, okay? You want to be able to sell yourself. What is going to make you different from the next person who is coming for the interview? So these are the things you want to concentrate on, okay? You want to stand out to get all of these jobs because they're going to be very competitive. Guys, they will be competitive. Now, one of the reasons why people violate their terms of visa is because they are in a desperate situation. Because they didn't come with enough money, they are tempted to work beyond 40 hours. And because you are doing this, you are actually violating the terms of your visa conditions. And if you're caught, your PGWP, which is your postgraduate work permit, is at a risk of not being given to you, guys. So you do not want to be caught in this kind of web. You must be prepared. Come with enough money so that even if you find a job, you are not solely dependent on that job for your survival while in school. Look for shared accommodations where you can share with other people, to cut down on the bills, to cut down on rent, and other expenses. These are some of the ways to save money as an international student. When you're done with school, you can now get a proper job that will allow you work full-time, and then you have enough money to take care of your bills. The third policy that the government gave on the 7th of December 2023 is that there will be no PGWP extension. That's the postgraduate work permit extension. Before now, there was a policy that allowed those international students who had PGWP that were to end or were about to end or have ended an extra 18 months, to be able to allow them apply for permanent residence while they are in the country. But right now, the government has said that this policy will no longer be extended. It means, therefore, that if you have a postgraduate work permit that is going to end from now till up to 31st of December, then you are eligible to apply. But if you have a postgraduate work permit that would expire by the 1st of January 2024 and beyond, then you are not longer eligible. You do not have 18 months. You don't have that extra room to apply for your permanent residence, okay? And this is causing a lot of, tension amongst international students right now. This would impact a lot of international students whose postgraduate work permits would expire after the 31st of December 2023. Now, what this means in essence again is that if your postgraduate work permit is going to expire after January 1st, 2024, then you can no longer apply for permanent residence, or you will have to go back to your own home country. This is sad, guys. This is another thing that is sad. But one of the things I'm going to advise you, if you're an intending international student who is about to apply for a study permit visa, is that you need to apply to schools for a 2-year program instead of applying for a 1-year program. A 1-year program of study would enable you to get at least a 1-year postgraduate work permit. Now, a postgraduate work permit is issued to you after you're done with your schooling. You need to apply for a postgraduate work permit. When you apply for a postgraduate work permit, depending on your length of study, the government issues you a postgraduate work permit to allow you work in Canada after school. Now, if you do a 1-year course, then you are eligible to get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. Within that 1 year, you are expected to apply for your permanent residency, okay? And most times, because there are certain conditions that needs to happen for you to apply for your PR. Now, there are certain conditions, you want to read about it. Now, within 1 year, you might not be able to meet up with the condition. Remember that when you submit your application, you need to give IRCC, which is the body that, evaluates these visas. You need to give them some time to approve, and they usually take time, guys, So if you do a 1-year course and you have a 1-year postgraduate work permit, you might not have enough time to wait, or it might not favor you, right? Because the timing is short. But if you do a 2-year course, you're eligible to get a 2 or 3 years postgraduate work permit. Now, guys, if you have 3 years postgraduate work permit, you have enough time to apply for PR, wait for it to be approved, and become a permanent resident. You are not tensioned. You are not, scared or worried about the outcome of your application. That is why it's advised to go for a 2-year program rather than go for a 1-year program. Now, the fourth policy that was talked about was, before now, there was a policy that allowed international students, to remain back in whatever country they want to and study virtually, study online, when they have gotten an admission or gotten a study permit to come to Canada. For whatever reason, some people do not come to Canada after they have gotten the study permit. They choose to stay back in their countries, and study online, while they're sorting out things before they come to Canada. Now, this policy has been in place as long as your total length of studying online is at least less than 50% of your total length of study. So what this means is that if you have 1 year of study, if your program is a 1-year course, okay, you cannot stay in your country for 6 months studying online. So you need to do it at least maybe 4 months, 5 months. That's less than 50% of your study length. Okay, so that's what it means. So you are allowed. Now, for certain reasons, people stay back, like I said, maybe for financial issues, trying to get more money so that they can come here, or trying to finalize plans, settling, maybe they have businesses back home they want to sort out before they come here, or for maybe health reasons, health emergencies, things like that. People stay back. This policy has not changed. The government kept it going. So it means that you are still allowed to stay back after you have gotten a study permit to study virtually or online, as long as it constitutes less than 50% of your total study length. Okay, so this is also a good one for people. A lot of people who have businesses and don't want to leave them just like that, trying to put things together, put structures in place. This will favor you. If you have a health emergency, you have financial issues, this will also favor you. Guys, so overall, I think the Canadian government has the best interest of international students at heart. They don't want to come here and get stranded. They're trying to set your expectations right, trying to help you manage your expectations so that you come here with the right expectation, with the right planning, with the right amount of money, so you don't go stranded when you get here. So guys, if you're planning to come to Canada, this is a good time to come to Canada. Yes, it is a good time. All you need to do is plan. All you need to do is make plans, perfect your plans and come to Canada. Remember that policies change every now and then. Policies are changing. So if you don't take action now, you don't know what new policy will come in and affect you even further. Now, before the interest rates went high, a lot of people were still dilly-dallying, procrastinating, postponing these things. They wanted to come, but they were not sure, or they were still making plans. And then the interest rates came and hit them hard, and now they no longer have the amount of money they need to come. Okay, they're now trying to save again. So policies change every now and then. You want to take action right now. This is the best time to come. There's never a best time. Okay, guys, thank you for watching my video. I will see you on the very next one. Be good.